morning. I'm Carlton Sharp, pastor of Faith Christian Center Church, right here in Beaumont, Texas. And we're here on what's happening in our neighborhood. And today, my special guest is Mr. Joe Evans. Welcome, Joe.
How you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. Hey, Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, yeah. I'm the general manager of a company called Beaumont Occupational. We specialize in drug and alcohol testing. Widowed father of 3 teenage girls. We lost our wife and mom, Misty, probably about a year and a half ago. Big-time community activist, mentor for at-risk youth, several nonprofit boards that I serve on. And that's pretty much me. You know, I just pride myself on being a community guy. Love to serve, love to be out and about among the people, and, you know, that's about it.
So, Joe, you made the decision to run for the Port Commissioner of Beaumont, Port of Beaumont.
Yes, sir.
So tell us, why did you choose to make the run?
Well, I was already, looking to get in the political arena. And so about a year and a half ago, I took a tour with the Chamber of Commerce on a mentorship program, and I just fell in love with the port. And from that point on, I started to study it and become a real student of it, spend a lot of time down there learning about how the port functioned. And then probably maybe last March, I heard that Commissioner Shelton was going to retire. And I said, you know, this is probably a God thing that, you know, I've been down here studying, been praying for a place to serve. The time commitment fits my family structure,
right.
Versus if I ran for city council or school board, it was just a perfect fit. And so I decided to go for it.
So why is this election so critical for the Port of Beaumont?
Well, the way I look at it is this, and it's the best way to look at it. The Port Commissioner serves 6-year terms. And so all these areas that we're 2 and 3 and 4 in as far as the development and economic impact of the port, in 6 years we'll see all that stuff just blown away, and we'll probably be number 1 in all those areas.
Wow.
So it's very important that we have someone down there with a steady hand who understands industry and who can bridge the gap between community and the port, and so that's what I plan on doing.
So what unique skill do you bring to the table when it comes down to being a port commissioner?
Governance. I understand oversight and fiduciary responsibilities from all the boards I've served on. I was appointed by Governor Abbott last year to the Alzheimer's Commission, so I understand how to work within the framework and work as a team. It's 6 commissioners. Also, I have a great knowledge of industry. I work in drug and alcohol testing. That puts me face to face with the industrial world. I understand how to get young people from school to these jobs, and so I think that's what gives me a special edge as far as what makes me the best candidate for this job.
So what do you see are the biggest challenges that the port faces right now?
I think the biggest challenge that the port has is just coming together with the community. You got Charlton Pollard right there that's
right.
been absorbed because of the port's growth. And not to blame anybody, it's just something that was just a symptom and of systematic growth. And so when you have that type of growth that fast, sometimes things get ignored. And so while the port has a good relationship with Charlton Pollard, I want to expand on that and make sure that we're doing good stuff for that community and being really good neighbors.
Now, the port is ranked as the number 1 military port.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Right, in the country. And
in
so,
the country.
Right, and so that means that, you know, when it comes to military preparedness and readiness, you know, Beaumont is premier. You know, we mean so much to the country as far as national defense and security for the world. So it's very important that, once again, you have someone in there that understands that, has a steady hand, wants to continue to push that vision. And, you know, the port doesn't need a reformer. You know, it's not one of those situations where they need someone to go in there and blow it up and big time reform. They just need another team player that's got a steady hand and that's going to promote that shared vision and, like I said, bring back to the community.
Now there's expansion that's happening at the port.
Yes.
I mean, and that's going to bring more financial dollars into the city of Beaumont.
Big time economic impact, and that's why I'm running on jobs and paychecks. People say, Joe, why are you running on jobs and paychecks? It's not that I'm going to create these jobs. The jobs are created. My job is to get the workforce developed, to get our young people ready to receive those blessings from deepening and widening and all the capital improvement projects we have coming down the pipeline.
You know, Joe, one of the things that people may not understand is the economic impact the port brings. I mean, the port commissioners are responsible for over $320 million worth of assets.
Right, and that's currently.
That's currently.
You know, we've been able to leverage taxpayer dollars with public-private partnerships, Allegiant Industry being one, Jefferson being another one. And so when you talk about a taxing entity that truly gives us a return on our taxpayer dollars, the Port of Beaumont is exactly what that is, you know.
You know, every now and then when we drive down the city, we see these big old blades sitting out there on the dock.
Right.
You know, That's money.
That's big time money. And speaking of that, something that we're going to do down at the port is the Carroll Street overpass. And the Carroll Street overpass is going to allow us to get those blades from the laydown yard into the port, onto those vessels, but not be delayed by those trains that we see through the city.
Yeah.
So that's something that they're going to work on. Is we see congestion in the streets in the city of Beaumont with the trains. We also have that in the port as well. And so something else that the port's doing as part of the capital improvement project is the track system, working on the track infrastructure inside the plant, which will in turn get the trains off the tracks in the city a little bit faster and do away with some of that congestion that we get due to the trains that we get. And everybody knows them 6 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, around lunchtime.
Yeah, man.
You know,
that traffic hits you, right?
Right. It hits you, and most times it's because the trains sometimes are stuck on the tracks. Which is not a bad thing if you think about it. That means it's really busy down at the port.
That means that there's money going in there.
Right, there's money. Exactly.
Now you talked about them deepening the water system there. What's the purpose of that?
Okay, so what's going to happen is that's not so much the port's project, but the port does have to be ready. So just to say this, back on that capital improvement project, we're going to redo a dock that was destroyed during Harvey, which was kind of a blessing because at the point that it was 30. That dock was only down 30 feet. Now we'll get those other 8 to make us 38. And so because if we wouldn't have, when we do deepening and widening to 38, those docks would have fell in the water. And what deepening and widening is going to do is make us prepared and put us on pace with the Panama Canal. We're going to be able to get bigger vessels in, load them to capacity. Right now, we can't get as big of ships in because we're not deep enough.
Okay.
And then when we do get them in, we could probably go 75, 80% capacity. Now with the deepening, we can load those ships. They can sit down, get bigger loads, more money again.
So you're saying what is the capacity that we're able to load right now?
I think around 75, 80% of the ship can be loaded to capacity.
Wow.
But once again, with deepening and widening, those other 8 feet will give us the capacity, probably get them all the way full.
Okay, so Joe, how's the campaign going?
Man, the campaign is going phenomenal. We are working it hard. We're about close to 1,500 doors now that we've knocked on, me and my children and their friends. It's like every week I got a new group of parents saying, hey, Joe, I see what you're doing with the kids. My kids would love to do it too. And so it's been a good thing. I feed them. And,
hey, that always helps.
That always helps. It's good because, my campaign isn't really taking on a ton of money as far as contributions. So we really need to work the ground, which is a gratifying process because you get to meet people and really display the work that you're doing and how serious and passionate you are about the seat you're running for. We're going to be back at it this weekend. And we're gonna go all the way through the finish line. We won't stop until we'll go all the way through early voting. So we got about 3 more weeks, and we're gonna push it hard. And like I said, man, good reception from the community. Just a great process.
And you're running for the at-large position, so I mean that's the citywide.
Citywide. Yeah, we started off kind of what I call like Midtown Beaumont over in the 23rd area over by Kroger and Market Basket.
Yeah.
We started there in my old neighborhood. We went south end. Spent a little time in the north end. Right now we're back on the west end, and we're just gonna push it. We want to try to make sure we're hitting at least every ward with making a substantial push on the ground.
Right.
And so sometimes people even waiting for us. Say, yeah, we knew he was coming this way. But it's been good. It's been really good.
Well, in our closing moments, Joe, if you look at the camera and tell the people what you want to leave them with today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. First of all, my name is Joe Evans. I'm your candidate for Port Commissioner at Large. I tell you right now, we're the hardest working campaign. I'm going to be the hardest working commissioner. I'm going to fight hard for jobs and paychecks like I've been saying the whole time. I'm going to be here in the community. I love you all. I appreciate your support. Joe Evans, #1 on the ballot for Port Commissioner, jobs and paychecks. Thank you.
Hey, listen, I want to thank Joe for joining us today, and I want to thank you for joining us on what's happening in our neighborhood. And we will see you next time on our broadcast.